We arrived in Germany 2 weeks ago and explored the Black Forest and then started our Bavarian road trip through this extremely picturesque region of Germany. Our Bavarian road trip ends in Nuremberg. A city formed in 1050, Nuremberg has a rich history starting during medieval times when it hosted Holy Roman emperors, through World War II when it barely survived heavy bombings and later became the site of the infamous Nuremberg trials. Nuremberg also makes a fantastic base for visiting nearby Bavarian gyms such as Würzburg or Regensburg, which of course we couldn't resist the opportunity to take a day trip to one of these beautiful neighboring cities.
Well, we have loved every second that we just spent in Rottenburg and really all of the places we've been in Bavaria, and we are headed to our final home base in this part of Germany, and that's Nuremberg. Welcome to our home for the next 5 nights here in Nuremberg. We're staying at the Adina Apartment Hotel here in downtown Nuremberg. So we start off as you walk in the space with this nice little kitchen area. We have a dishwasher, a washer and dryer. We also have a cooktop and all the utensils we would need to cook all of our food, which we are planning on going and grabbing some breakfast supplies. We also have a nice big fridge and microwave. Then coming into the living space, we have a nice big bedroom area, plenty of areas to put our bags and open everything up and not be tripping over them in the middle of the night. They also have a table and chairs for us to have our meals at and a television. And then we have our bathroom with a nice big walk-in shower. Hey Darren! Of course, a toilet and a small sink space. So what we've learned is food can be very expensive in Europe. So we decided to save ourselves some money and went to the local grocery store, which here is the Edeka, and loaded up on stuff for breakfast and sandwiches. We spent 36 euros. 36 euros. One breakfast at our hotel for the two of us to eat would be 50 euros. So this is enough for us for days, and we're gonna come back tomorrow and grab stuff for lunch too. So just a little tip when you're traveling, if you're trying to save some money, try to find yourself a place that has a little kitchen and get yourself some breakfast goods. So we're out finally to explore Nuremberg, and one of our first stops that we're making is to the German National Museum. Apparently they have items in there that date back to prehistoric times.
Nice,
and should have a really good array of things that exemplify like German culture and history throughout the ages.
Yeah, and apparently they have about 1.3 million objects, and then something like 25,000 are out to be viewed. So a lot of stuff to look at, and it's gonna be an exciting afternoon.
That's right.
You enter the museum in this large modern lobby and then face the choice of whether to go left or right. We go right, which takes you down this long corridor adorned with intricate medieval headstones. We then head into the arms and armory area filled with an impressive collection of medieval armor, weaponry, and jousting equipment. The details on some of these pieces make them so unique and beautiful. We found a helmet from the Roman Empire and hollow animal-shaped vessels used for hand washing called aqua manilia, among many other historic items in the ancient history and medieval sections of the museum.
So that was a lot of fun. We just spent a couple hours in the museum, and they have a lot to offer and look at.
Yes, they do. We honed in on kind of like the armor and military stuff. We saw things, armor pieces from like when they used to do jousting. That was cool. I've never seen anything like it in my life. Yeah. They also had really extensive pieces on the Middle Ages. We saw some stuff in there, these beautiful woven tapestries. Unbelievable.
Shocking. Still just flabbergasted at how well preserved it is after 700-800 years. It looks brand new. It's amazing.
They're in perfect condition. They're absolutely stunning. So many cool things from basically like prehistoric times all the way through the ages. Like, highly recommend going and checking the museum out if you're in Nuremberg. It's incredible what they have in there, and we like barely scratched the surface.
Yeah. So what do? You get some beer.
So we came to the beer garden instead. Well, the reality is we don't know how much longer we're going to be able to get this particular kind of beer because we're going to be moving on to our next country in a couple days.
We're going to tell you what that is right now.
That's right.
You got to wait a whole
Surprise.
week.
One of the great things about making Nuremberg your home base is the fact that you can do a lot of different little day trips. And we decided to not do too many of those because we really hit the ground running here in Germany. We got tired, so we had to choose between two locations. And because the weather isn't great today, we decided to do the closer one, which is Würzburg. And unfortunately, this town got heavily bombed during the war, so a lot of it's been reconstructed, but it's still supposed to be one of like the best towns in Bavaria to visit. It's all part of the Romantic Road as well. So if you're coming to Bavaria and you want to do the Romantic Road, Würzburg's kind of like at the north end of that.
Everybody comment on Nina's hood.
It's driving me crazy. I either have to pull it way back or it's like going over my eyes. I can't see what I'm doing.
So there's a road race here in Würzburg this morning that we got to cross somehow to get to the castle.
The palace.
The palace.
It's so pretty though. Look at it. We're looking at it right now.
I'm not going to show you. Okay. So this is known as the Würzburg Residence, and it was built between 1720 and 1780. Heavily damaged in the war in 1945, and then reconstructed and reopened in the late 80s, and it is spectacular. I think we read somewhere in this that right after the U.S. occupied this town and took over the palace, a member of the Monuments Men came in and did his best to protect the building from further damage and to help spare and keep safe all the tapestries. And as you can see from this room, the tapestries are spectacular. I did just hear in a tour that was coming by, one of the tour guides explained that any of the gold that you see, the gold color is leaf gold, and it's everywhere.
It's literally everywhere. I mean, this is one of the most stunning palaces I've ever seen in my life.
Never even heard of it. We just came here for a day trip, and this place is unbelievable.
It is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. I can see why they want to protect it, especially after what happened to it during the war. But I mean, thank goodness for the people that got involved to try to protect what was left of it and restore it to its former glory, because it is just stunning.
You want to hear a bit of history?
Of course.
Okay, so 1314 May 1812, Napoleon I and his wife spent the night in this room.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Well, that's very cool. That is very, very cool.
So in a lot of these rooms, or most of them, you'll see these big ornate pieces in the corner, and they're basically ovens. They're fed from behind the wall from staff, and they're to heat the room. But they're stunningly beautiful.
I mean, even the ovens are gorgeous. And this has been like a theme for all the castles and things like that we've been in Germany so far. They all have this feature, but none has looked quite this ornate as these ones do. It's really cool.
And this room is really amazing. The contrast of color and the gold leaf and design, but check out this heater. Just look at the floor. It's a wood floor, but still.
And so this style is Baroque, and Baroque, it's very ornate It's got tons and tons of detail, very, very elegant. And one thing you'll notice is that even though everything goes like perfectly from one room to another, nothing looks the same. Like no room is decorated the same way. They're all very unique and have their own like sense of style and personality. I think it's absolutely incredible. So after the palace, we had some delicious Thai up the road from it. And now we're headed to find a bakery or a cafe or something, because something I've wanted since we got here to Germany, we haven't had yet, and we're leaving in 2 days, you gotta try it, is I need some apple strudel.
Everywhere we go, God, I want to go to strudel. Strudel.
I'm craving strudel. I feel like we have to have it here. And
I hope it's not disappointing, because if so, I'm not gonna hear the end of it.
Ever. Ever. Oh my gosh, that was so good. I'm so glad we waited until the very end of this trip, because this was worth the wait. Enjoyed our day trip up to Würzburg yesterday. I think that like if you're in this area, it's totally worth going and checking the town out. There's quite a bit to do over there. Also, if you like wine, it's definitely a great spot. There's tons and tons of wineries in the area. And we made a new friend yesterday.
Yeah, Brian was a great guy. We met him. He's from Austin. We had a great time sitting down and chatting during lunch. Outside of that, you know, the palace was amazing. The restaurants in the area were great. It's a great town.
It is. So that was a lot of fun. We decided that today, our last day in Germany, that we would just enjoy Nuremberg a little bit more, try to check out some of the sites that we didn't make it to a couple days ago. Starting with the church that unfortunately was closed when we came here over the weekend. As you can see, this beautiful medieval church was badly damaged during World War II, but has since been beautifully restored to its former glory. And thankfully so, as it's one of the most impressive Gothic Lutheran churches in all of Bavaria. For our final stop here in Germany, we are checking out the Palace of Justice. This is where the Nuremberg trials were held at the end of World War II. The top floor of the courthouse has been designated as a memorial for the Nuremberg trials. On display is a very comprehensive timeline of the events leading up to the war and going through the trials of 24 major Nazi leaders who were prosecuted here between 1945 and 1946. After learning the history, you go down to the second floor and can visit the courtroom that the trials were held in.
Okay, so we just finished up at the Nuremberg Palace of Justice. A lot of information, a lot of great stuff to see in here.
It's very cool too, because they used to do trials in the courtroom, and that would kind of prohibit people from coming in on those days the trials were being held, but now it's open all the time. They stopped doing trials here a few years ago, so now you have access to the courtroom anytime the palace is open. I think for people that love history like we do, I think it's absolutely like a must-do attraction when you come here to Nuremberg.
Yeah, and once you get your ticket, you go in, you grab an audio guide in your particular language, go up to the third floor and just press the button for the audio guide, and it gives you tons of information, who was involved, what countries were involved, all the defendants, their trial, the sentence, everything. It's very, very good information.
Absolutely. So totally recommend doing this when you come to Nuremberg. So we're leaving Germany, and we have had the best 2.5 weeks here imaginable.
Amazing.
Like, loved every second of it, and we're sad to leave, but we're already talking about coming back.
Yes, many destinations yet to be seen. Some amazing locations, you know, where we got to visit, whether it was the lowlands or the plains, Black Forest or Bavaria. It was all amazing.
It was incredible. So if you enjoyed these videos as much as we love making them, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe. It really helps us continue to bring you around the world to these incredible destinations. We really appreciate your support.
Yep. See you next week in a new country.
See you next week. Bye.